Europe is celebrating 20 years of European accession. And it's a wonderful day. We're blessed with lovely weather, but we also mustn't forget about the UK and Brexit.
Indeed, and we do have just a person to talk about it, so stay tuned.
We're going to connect with Klaudia Czerwińska, who is in London. Good afternoon, Klaudia.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
So, as I mentioned, Poland is celebrating 20 years in the EU, but the UK is still dealing with the consequences of Brexit. So, is this a happy memory for the UK? Is the UK regretting perhaps this decision?
There might be a lot of regret there, Marie, because I suppose we all remember this day, the 23rd of June 2016. It was a day that changed everything. I was here in London myself ahead of my graduation. Then the 24th of June happened. We've been reassured that the referendum is not going to pass, that the UK is not going to leave the European Union. Lo and behold, the next day we woke up to a completely different world. It's been 4 years since the official Brexit. And I wanted to bring a quote from current Prime Minister of Poland, Donald Tusk, then the president of the EU Council, who said in 2019 that there is a special place in hell for those who promote a Brexit without even a sketch of a plan or how to carry it out safely. Very strong statement that was not taken lightly at Downing Street. There was a very particular response, but Brexit was a part of what I call the unholy trinity. So there was Brexit, there was the pandemic, and then the full-scale invasion of Ukraine by Russia that influenced the way the cost of living crisis developed here in the United Kingdom. We are still dealing with the introduction of some of the legislation that relates to Brexit. Only yesterday I was reporting on how on Tuesday at midnight there was the second phase of border checks introduced, which shows that there's going to be physical checks for meat, dairy products, seeds and plants, which is going to cost smaller and larger UK businesses around £330 million a year. And just to give you a brief idea, around 2 million jobs were lost after Brexit, not to mention that the UK economy lost around £140 billion due to Brexit.
Right. And did Brexit affect the number of Poles in the UK? Did a lot of them leave?
So I actually had a chance of speaking to one of my guests, a businessman and a philanthropist, Piotr Michalik, yesterday in an interview, which is going to air later today. And he mentioned that actually opposite to the common belief that a lot of Polish people decided to leave the UK after Brexit, out of a million Polish citizens who lived in the UK before Brexit, only around approximately 200,000 of them left. Many of them already started their businesses, their families, they got their citizenships. Those were multicultural families, so British, Polish families. And so they decided that they're going to stay behind. Last year, I covered extensively the strikes which took place, especially within the healthcare system, the NHS here in the United Kingdom. And I spoke to some of the young doctors, I spoke to some of the nurses, and they said unanimously that these Poles who left after Brexit really did cause a lot of turmoil because there are job vacancies that were not covered, putting extra strain specifically on healthcare. But that wasn't only a particular case when it comes to Polish citizens. We also had other European citizens that left, for example, Italians in hospitality. That was felt all across the sector.
Indeed. And on that note of EU-UK relations, what is the situation between the UK and Ireland at the moment?
Funny you ask, because as of today, Ireland approved a legislation which states that UK is considered a safe country to have the immigrants that crossed the border in the last week from Northern Ireland to Ireland to be sent back to the UK. Obviously, as you probably remember, the Rwanda bill passed in the parliament last week. So due to that taking place, we had a lot of asylum seekers who crossed the border to Ireland. Ireland plans to send them back to the UK. The UK says we're a sovereign country. We're not part of the EU anymore. So you can keep those asylum seekers unless France decides to take the asylum seekers that cross the English Channel. So there's a massive turmoil. There's a possibility of even bigger diplomatic row between Ireland and the United Kingdom. And I will be reporting more on that as the situation develops.
Okay, Klaudia Czerwińska, thank you very much for that update from London reporting to us. Thank you very much.